Hello and welcome to NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen. I'm Kevin Ochsner. Thanks for joining us. Each spring, you can count on two things in Washington, D.C., the cherry blossoms bloom and cattlemen and women who come to town for the annual NCBA Legislative Conference. Cattlemen to Cattlemen reporter Brian Baxter takes us inside this important event.
Washington, D.C. is always a busy place, and on Capitol Hill, people line up outside the House and Senate office buildings to meet with their members of Congress and press their case on issues they care about. Even so, within those crowds, the cattlemen and women tend to stand out.
People that show up are the ones that make the decisions, and there's a lot of people out there right now trying to get in front of their representatives, and we have to be there and if we're going to be heard, because if we're not, it's going to be, that void's going to be filled by another voice. And where we are only 2% of, agriculture is only 2% of the population, we must have that voice, and this is where you're going to get that. So very proud of all the producers that have taken time out of their busy schedules to come to DC to meet with the representatives. It will have great impact for us in the future.
A congressman or senator get to hear dozens and dozens of different groups each day in their office, so it's important that our message doesn't get drowned out in all the noise from all the other groups. But when we do come here, I think we're still viewed as folks in the white hat, and we leverage our fewer numbers compared to other groups. We get a lot of mileage and goodwill out of what we do, and so that even makes it more important to come and be here.
I think one of the unique things about the cattlemen is they do remember our hats and our boots and our appearance, so that helps us maybe distinguish ourselves from everybody else. Plus, a lot of them have a real appreciation for the land and the job we do. We get a lot of thanks for the job we do.
In all, more than 220 cattlemen and women gathered for the annual NCBA Legislative Conference. Their job, to make sure the voice of the cattle industry is heard and recognized by those who make policy and regulations in Washington, D.C.
I think it's important that every cattleman come to D.C. They need to hear from us. They need to hear what's on our mind, what's on our hearts, the things that are affecting our businesses. They need to know issues that we're facing, issues that we're promoting, and they hear it from us, cattlemen. And it makes a bigger impact. We have a great staff at NCBA, but the members need to come and express their views as well.
And we expect this new administration will continue the work that it's already done in trying to take and relieve us of the regulatory burden that we've had for quite some time. We've already seen it through the executive order to start the process to repeal waters in the United States. I do expect that we'll see more of that. And I think that if that's all we get out of this administration, that's going to be a huge success for us. But we're going to have other opportunities because Congress is going to move forward, and we expect a great opportunity to actually work on comprehensive tax reform. That's something we haven't been able to work on seriously in quite some time. It means we're going to have an opportunity to try to once and for all kill the death tax.
Top issues for the cattle industry include tax reform and the upcoming Farm Bill, and the hope of modernizing the Endangered Species Act to make it more effective and less burdensome to those who depend on the land for their livelihood. Equally important is the need to foster greater trade opportunities in a world where U.S. beef is in demand.
Everywhere we go this week, we're talking about the trade issues and the fact that agriculture is a shining star in trade for the United States, and it's how important it is that we continue to maintain and gain additional access to countries around the world for our products. And China certainly comes to mind as one that would be great to get it more open to more U.S. beef.
That's really vitally important that we have the ability to trade, and we have some big players in that. They talk about repeal of NAFTA. That's not good for the beef industry. It might be good for someone in a manufacturing segment, but not for beef. We partner with Canada and with Mexico and have a really good trade relation there. We don't want that touched. So it's important that we talk about that.
And those who make policy in Washington say they welcome the opportunity to see cowboy hats on Capitol Hill and the chance to hear from those who make their living in cattle country.
I want to thank you all for being here because you're taking time out from your busy schedule, from your families, from working at your farm, to be up here on the Hill to meet with members of Congress, to make sure that they know what you all face and how their decisions drastically affect your way of life.
Reporting from the NCBA Legislative Conference in Washington, I'm Brian Baxter for NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.